Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. Why do some Muslim groups commit suicide in military operations? Suicide attacks have become a significant topic of discussion, especially when it associated with some Muslim groups. Often these attacks are seen as unique to certain regions or cultures. However, if we look at history, suicide attacks have appeared across different societies, not just in the Middle East. In this video, we will explore the history and motivations behind suicide attacks to better understand why some groups resort to these extreme measures.
Ground forces are not engaged. This conflict started August 2nd.
Kamikaze in World War II. One of the earliest well-known examples of suicide attacks comes from World War II. The Japanese military used a tactic called kamikaze, meaning divine wind. This term refers to a story from the 13th century when a storm destroyed a Mongol fleet that tried to invade Japan.
On the 25th of November 1944, a lone Japanese bomber closes in on the USS Essex. Its pilot is part of a new force, the Special Attack Corps, Kamikaze.
As Japan faced defeat in World War II, young pilots volunteered to fly their planes into enemy ships, sacrificing themselves in the process. While this wasn't a religious requirement, the pilots believed they were helping protect their country from certain defeats. The kamikaze pilots caused significant damage to US Navy and became symbols of self-sacrifice and bravery through their actions. Also highlighted Japan's desperation in the face of war, the Vietnam War and guerrilla tactics. In the Vietnam War, suicide-like tactics were also used by the Viet Cong, who were fighting against US and the South Vietnamese forces.
These Marines on patrol made contact with the elusive enemy when the Viet Cong struck in a variation of his favorite tactic, a surprise attack from the shadows. But the VC, already aware he has little chance of winning a stand-up fight, is learning he is being engaged by a fighting force quite different from that he met and defeated a decade ago. His own guerrilla tactics are being turned against him, and he is frequently trapped in our ambushes, set up by the patrols that are moving constantly.
While the Viet Cong didn't always carry out traditional suicide attacks, some fighters willingly walked into enemy lines, wearing explosives with the goal of taking down as many US soldiers as possible. These actions weren't always planned suicides, but they showed a willingness to sacrifice oneself for the cause. The strategy was meant to strike fear into US forces, making them feel vulnerable. The psychological impact was significant, forcing the US military to reconsider their strategy. This method of self-sacrifice was used to make a strong statement and to challenge a more powerful enemy. Historical roots of self-sacrifice in war. Looking back at ancient history, the idea of self-sacrifice in war wasn't new. During the Battle of Plataea in 479 before Christ, Greek soldiers, including Spartans, fought to the death against the Persian army. While they didn't practice suicide missions, their determination and willingness to die for their cause echoed the same mindset of self-sacrifice that we see today. Similarly, during the Crusade, both Christians and Muslim warriors fought with the belief that dying for their faith would ensure them a place in heaven. These historical examples show that the idea of dying for a cause has existed for centuries, even if it wasn't always framed as a suicide mission. Motivations for modern suicide attacks. In the modern era, some groups resort to suicide attacks because they feel they have no other way to fight against a much stronger enemy. groups often face overwhelming odds and believe that suicide missions are the only way to make a significant impact. These attacks are seen as acts of resistance, a way to fight back against perceived oppression. For some individuals, these attacks are also tied to their religious beliefs. In certain interpretation of Islam, martyrdom, dying for a noble cause, is considered a path to paradise. This belief plays a crucial role in motivating individuals to engage in suicide missions, where they view themselves as heroes for their cause. Additionally, suicide attacks can be used as a tool to grab attention for political causes. Groups may use their extreme measures to send a message to the world or weaken the power of government they view as unjust. The dramatic nature of these attacks often forces the international community to take notice, highlighting the issues these groups want to address. Conclusion: a complex phenomenon. Suicide attacks are not a new phenomenon or isolated to any one culture. Throughout history, different societies have used self-sacrifice in warfare. The motivations behind these attacks are often tied to political, social, and religious factors. While the tactics may vary, the core idea of fighting with the willingness to die for a cause has remained constant. In modern times, groups that carry out suicide attacks often feel powerless against a stronger enemy. They believe that through self-sacrifice, they can make a significant impact and send a message to the world. Understanding the historical roots and motivations behind these attacks can help us address the issue in more thoughtful and informed way. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and if you like, share it with your friends. This is our beginning and we need support from you, so share it with your friends, and if you have any questions, please tell us in the comments, and we hope to see you again soon.